Welcome to NFL World, where NFL starts and ends. I'm your host Jacob, and welcome to this next episode of Superstar. Where on today's episode we do Travis, the ultimate two-way athlete. Now, when you say ultimate two-way athlete, what does that exactly mean? Well, I could have said two-way sensation, but that's not the way I describe him. He's the two-way athlete. He's an athlete. This is what this guy does. So why don't you guys come on and join me and just see how good Travis Hunter actually is. So, Travis Hunter, the most surprising thing, it actually isn't a stat, more of a projection. As written down by Joe Klatt, who ranks all the best players, ranked Travis Hunter the second best defensive player going into the draft. The only other one, the number one guy, is Abdul Carter, who we did a video on. Go check it out. But that's pretty high praise for a guy who only plays one half of his snaps on defense. Like, that's the incredible thing. He is that good of an athlete. He plays about 57 snaps on defense and about another 60 on offense. That's all he does. He just finds a way to be on every snap, every part of the game. He's that impactful. You can't take him off the field. To introduce him, the best way I can describe it is you just look at his numbers. Look at the numbers in his two-way of being an athlete. Just the numbers of this year: 96 catches, 1,258 yards, 15 touchdowns, an average of 13.1. And then I got because the normal set I use don't have his defensive numbers for whatever reason. Here it is: 32 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss. Hang on, let me make sure this is right. I want to make sure I get the right stat line. Okay, here we go. Yeah, okay. 32 tackles, 21 solos, 1 tackle for a loss, 4 interceptions. He basically had an interception every third game. That's how good he was. Now, I also have the interceptions when he got the interceptions. He played at Colorado State, where he had 5 solo tackles, 5 total tackles, 2 solos, tackles, 1 interception, and a pass breakup. He had an interception against Baylor, where he had 3 solo tackles, 1 forced fumble as well. Actually, no, I messed that up. My bad. He had a forced fumble in that game. The interception came in from the game against Utah, where he had 3 solo tackles, the interception, and a fumble recovery. Against Kansas, which was by far his best game, 7 total tackles and a fumble recovery. And then he had, against Oklahoma State, 1 solo tackle, 1 interception, 2 pass breakups. These are things that, this is what he does. He finds a way to take the ball away as a defender, and that's not easy to do. But I really want to stick with what his offense is when we start talking about his journey. Because when you talk about a guy and their journey, you say, okay, he's great on this side of the ball, but we're only going to ask him to play this side. Most people, they go in high school football, they're two-way players. You're going to play wide receiver. You're going to play safety. You're going to play quarterback. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. That's what they do. He played wide receiver and corner, goes into college. In his first year at Jackson State, 18 catches for 190. That was it. That's all. He was a pure defensive player who they just did gadgety things with. But in his last 2 years at Colorado State, 57 catches, 721 yards, a 12.6 average, 5 touchdowns. His longest was 47. In 2024, 96 catches, 1,258 yards, 13.1 average, 15 touchdowns. His longest was a 58-yard catch. That's what he does. He's attack mode consistent. I think that makes him. Okay, here we go. The thing he does so incredibly well and we're going to get into this a little bit later, he attacks the ball. He's not, okay, I'm going to stay here, I'm going to let the ball come to me. No, I'm going to get it. That's what his mentality is. That is a mentality you need to have as a corner and as a wide receiver. And that's there's three highlights that basically showcase his talents. And I have it written down to three things, basically. The three things are, number one, his footwork. When you play cornerback, it's a different style of footwork than wide receiver. You're more on the balls of your feet, and you're backing up, and you're just trying to explode and defend them. Go and make a deflection on the ball. Go and attack the receiver. Make sure he doesn't move any more than he already did. That's what you got to do. And that's what he needs to do. He's that talented to play on that side of the ball and do what Deion, his coach, Deion Sanders, Primetime Sanders, said, I like T-steps. He said this in an interview a few years ago. I like T-step. I don't like T-steps. Go into it at a side angle and then just go for it. Because if you do that, you're going to cut off a lot of ground. That's all he's talking about doing. Back, go at an angle, explode. Go at an angle and explode. That's all he's trying to do. That makes him so much better. Then as the receiver, that's a whole different style of footwork. Where you got to be quick, you got to try to get around and adjust and do all these things. Flip your hips in a different way than a cornerback would. Those are things that are not easily taught. And yet he knows how to do it at both positions. He's comfortable with that. Number two, we told you, he attacks the ball. He's a ball hawk. That's what he wants to do. I'm getting the ball. I ain't getting it. You're not getting it. Which leads me into my third thing, which is more like 2A than anything. It's the ability to say, it's an 80, it's a 50-50 ball, but it's really an 80-20 ball for me because I'm going to go up for it. And I'm going to out-jump you. I'm going to out-physical you. I'm going to get in better position than you. And it's going to be so much harder for you to do anything about it. And I think a thing that's for him is also when he won the Heisman, the day after, if you remember, it was a Sunday. Jay Glazer on Fox NFL Sunday went and said, look, to quite a few general managers over the last day. And I asked if Travis Hunter became goes for the draft, which he would, what position would you have him play, wide receiver or defensive back? And they said, obvious, it would be cornerback. He's playing corner for us, but he'd have wide receiver packages. That was like 90% of the GMs had said that, maybe even higher than that, closer than 95%, I would think. But there was a couple who said, no, pure wide receiver, who we may put in at corner. Travis Hunter has said that he wants to do both, and if he doesn't, he's going to force his way to do both. That's basically what he said. He used the term retire, but that wouldn't make sense. A guy wants to play ball. You're going to let him get the ball. Let him do all the things he wants to do. When you're that gifted of an athlete, like, again, we haven't seen a guy like this play both sides of the ball since Deion did it in the 90s. That's how long ago this is. We are so, for most of the Gen Z generation, have never seen a guy ever play like this. That's how good he is. That's how talented he is. That's all he is. Plain and simple. Now, let's talk in a summary. Basically, what's his potential of being a two-way player? Like I said, there's teams that mostly want him to play cornerback with some packages at receiver. He honestly could do both and become one of the best corners and one of the best receivers in the league. His ability to separate, he has some speed to him. He has the ability to get open. He has great ball hawking skills and ball handling skill. Great footwork. He gets to the point of impact with the ball. He's willing to fight for the ball. He's a competitive guy. These are things that you want to have as a corner and as a wide receiver. He has it on both sides of the ball. It makes him so lethal. That's why he's so good. When you have a guy with this amount of potential, you can't say, "Oh, only play one side of the ball." No, you gotta play every side of the ball. Maybe not as many snaps. Maybe he plays more snaps defensively, but him play more as a red zone guy on the offense. Yeah, I get it. More of a third down red zone guy on offense. Yeah, I get it. That makes sense. More of a red zone and third down guy. It makes a lot of sense for him. And I'm sure that would make him happy enough that he'd be okay with doing that. But that's how you should build. Now, where does he go is the question. This is where it gets really interesting. Because I did a mock draft about a month ago, and we'll do it after the draft here. The What a Play podcast tomorrow. So be aware for that. And basically, I had Travis Hunter going to the Patriots. I'm not convinced he's going to go to the Patriots. Because I'm looking at this, I'm saying to myself, okay, because I can tell you my first four. With Cam Ward, Abdul Carter to the Browns, Travis Hunter to the Patriots, Shedeur Sanders. This was all before Russell Wilson and Jameis went. But I still believe they could do that. Because the Giants have drafted weird things before anyway. They do it all the time. So it's not that uncommon. But I think that's what they'll do. And those are my first four picks. Probably dead wrong. But that's the thing about a mock draft. You don't know. And I only do one a year. So we'll have it on. And then after the draft, I go through it and say what I got right, what I got wrong. There's probably a lot of wrong. But that's how I have it. You got a guy like Travis Hunter. He's an unbelievable athlete. He could go to Cleveland. We don't know. He could go to the Giants. We don't know. It's all about an interesting folklore of what could happen. We don't know what will happen. But that's what makes the NFL draft so fun. Now, why don't you share your thoughts? It's all about what you guys think. Do you think Travis Hunter is the next two-way athlete? Is the next the next ultimate two-way athlete, I should say, in NFL history? Not just right now, history. And where do you think he will be drafted? For NFL World, I'm Jacob Hebert. Out.